Boom, welcome back to the stomping grounds. Oh yeah. Bittersweet day. It's been a good week. I've been having this it's called distal bicep tendinitis, right? It's been about 9 months and I'm trying to push through it. At first, I just couldn't do bicep curls, right? Now I can't bench. I can't do any pull movements. So I had Maddie, shout out Driven as Fuck Recovery, a mentor of mine, good friend. I had him, I asked him a couple questions about it as far as, your first instinct is to push through something. And hopefully it just gets better, right? But in this situation, that's just something that's a little bit counterintuitive. And it's literally been 9-10 months. It's getting worse and worse over time. So I finally decided, okay, at least for a month, no push movements, no pull movements. Maddie helped me make a little routine. It'll just be legs and core 2-3 times a week. And then also just kind of isolated delt movements and some isolated tricep movements. So, my initial fear was kind of like muscle loss and shrinkage, right? But at this rate, if I keep trying to just live like everything's normal, I'm just gonna do myself more pain than good. So just wanted to kind of get that out of the way. So if I shrink a little bit, it is what it is. My friend Maddie, he started his YouTube channel, Driven as Fuck Recovery, and I just fucking love the guy and what he says and kind of my idea of how to live life and the mentality. And we listen to a lot of the same podcasts and we have a lot of the same ideas. He's like a more mature as far as progress, experience, and everything type of guy than I am. So it's just someone that, I try to emulate and, get a lot of good advice from. So he told me he's dealt with this before, the tendinitis. He's been lifting a long time. And, he said eventually it'll heal. So I'm rolling with that. We'll see how it goes. And, he was talking about just on his channel, Driven as Fuck Recovery, a little bit more about the whole addiction aspect. He's made a couple videos, but he's not afraid to mention it. So that kind of gives me the inspiration and motivation to talk a little bit more about the addiction aspect of it, right? And maybe this will just get to the right person, even if it's one person. See, I live in a city where it's a big recovery community, but I am the only Asian person. There's like literally one other Asian person in the entire recovery community, right? Which means obviously from whatever addiction, heroin, Xanax, meth, alcohol, and now we're getting better. There's me and then there's like one other person. And so that lack of identity and that lack of having someone that, understands you or that you can relate to, I kind of want to be the voice for that. As far as there's definitely other Asian people out there that are struggling. I'm sure of it. People that are struggling with, maybe they had child abuse when they were younger, maybe sexual abuse or whatever it is. Now they may be struggling with drug addiction, alcohol addiction. Maybe they've tried to quit it in the past. For me, it was such an identity crisis for me when my whole life, man. I grew up, I had whatever happened to me as a child, nothing too crazy, nothing that I'm going to, say is any worse than maybe anyone else that has grown up, right? So I had these things happen to me. It's just, I reacted a different way to it. My way of coping with whatever insecurities and trauma or PTSD, whatever from childhood, was drug use, right? And I remember the first time I got high, it was with someone close to me, right? I'm smoking the weed, and I'm like, let's smoke more, blah blah blah, and then I fucking I start teleporting, man. It's like 3 a.m. We're somewhere, blah blah blah. I'm smoking. I'm like more. He's like, nah, you're good, and I start teleporting, right? Which, aka, I got really high, and I get back into the house. Very first experience getting high. And I'm trying to go to bed, I'm trying to sleep. And at the same time, I am praying to God. Literally, the prayer is like, "Dear Lord, if you can make this feeling go away, I will never get high again." And of course, the feeling didn't go away until I woke up the next morning and I thought, "Holy fuck, that is not something that I ever want to do again." Obviously, that's not how things worked out. And it progressed from smoking to drinking to smoking more to popping pills. And then you get to a certain point where it's not fun anymore, you know? You're going to jail, you're stealing, you're robbing people, you're getting jumped, you're manipulating your parents, you're doing all the bullshit that you don't want to do. Nobody wants to do this shit unless that grasp of drug addiction, that fucking demon has gotten a hold of them, right? It goes from jail to homelessness to fucking just being a nasty, nasty person. I remember one time I'm in my hometown. I'm driving around with some friends, and I'm thinking to myself, God damn, I've been doing a lot of drugs. I've been popping a lot of pills. I've been withdrawing from opiates, but you know what? I'm never gonna do methamphetamine. I'm never going to do heroin. I promised myself this promise. I must have been 18, 19. I'm never gonna touch that stuff. And then eventually, you know, one day I'm in my basement with an associate, a friend, someone I hung out with, you could say. And he goes, "Dude, this stuff is way cheaper, and it gets you way higher." And I go, "What is it? What is it?" He goes, "It's heroin." And I said, "Fuck it, dude." I didn't even think twice about, let me try that shit, dude. I was already too deep into it. Not long ago, before that, I experienced my first symptoms and bout of withdrawal. I was doing these pills called Opana, and my friend, he got them because his dad, rest in peace, was dying from cancer, and we were stealing his medicine. His the only thing that probably helped him cope with the pain. And then his dad passed away, and he stopped coming around, and and then I'm like, my body's not feeling right. I drive off. I'm like, what's going on? And then I realized, like, wow, this is the very first. This is what withdrawal is, isn't it? And I'm sitting there in my car, crying, rolling up a blunt, and crying like very, very bad, like crying like, holy shit. Again, praying to God, if you make this feeling go away, I will never touch those pills again. And not too long later, my friend busts out some heroin. He says, "Try this." I try it, boom, and it's a fucking wrap. It goes from heroin to I'm still doing pills. I move out to Arizona temporarily to try to get better. And then I'm doing methamphetamine, and I'm fucking tripping out and not sleeping for days on days, and I'm hallucinating, thinking that I'm getting kind of like chased by the drug cartels, and I'm thinking I had this whole situation where I tried robbing El Chapo, and his grandma was blah, blah. It was, my life was fucking chaotic, and I had many bouts of drug-induced psychosis. From probably a mixture of everything, but I'm assuming it was the meth, right? Methamphetamine can do that to you, but it just never stopped. My parents bailed me out again. I get out of jail in Arizona. I have no clue what I got locked up for, but I get a call. They say my name over the speaker, blah blah blah. You're out of here. I call my mom. This must have been like 2015, 2016. "Hey mom, I fucked up. Can you pick me up, or whatever? I need an airplane ticket to get back home." She brings me home. They're disappointed, but they fucking let me move back in. I have nowhere else to go. And then the cycle starts over again. Get a job, go back to popping pills. And then eventually I want to commit suicide. I had it all planned out. I worked with a guy at a gym who was a veteran, and one day I just fucking lost it, and I wasn't feeling good, and I call him, "Hey, what's up, man? Hey, you have any guns? I've never gone to a shooting range. Maybe we can go shooting around." And I was gonna drive to him that day, and just blow my brains out, right? I guess my parents already knew that I was acting like this, and they kind of already, I guess a couple nights ago, I don't remember, I must have been on Xanax. A couple nights before this, I told them that I was going to cut myself and commit suicide. I call my mom this day. I'm like, hey mom, I'm crying. Hey mom, where are the kitchen knives? I want to cook some chicken. You know, I gotta cut the chicken breast. And you know, I was looking to, you know, cut my wrist. And they had cameras set up in the house, right? Because I'm such a fuck up, and they're so nervous and they're so afraid of what I'm gonna do. She had cameras set up all over their apartment. So she says, wait for me, you know, I'll help you cook it. She comes home, the police are there. I'm using a butter knife to try to fucking cut my wrist. And I go to detox, and then I go back home, right? Fast forward a couple months, back on the drugs, got another job. This time, I overdose again, and my dad finds me in his living room, throwing up on myself. My face is blue. There's a needle on the table. There's a spoon on the table, and I'm dying, right? And this overdose was a bad one. I spent 21 days in the hospital, relearning how to even turn over on my bed, relearning how to talk, how to memorize things. Couldn't feed myself for a good 4 or 5 months because I had these tremors going on that I still deal with today. I fucking couldn't wipe my own ass. The nurse had to wipe my ass for 3 weeks straight. And after those 3 weeks, I get out, you know, relearning how to walk, talk, write, feed myself, wipe my ass. And after I relearn all that shit and I'm good to go, I'm back on the fucking drugs like it wasn't shit. This last time it was a quick run. Boom, 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 Xanax, heroin, whatever the fuck. This time my parents fucking put their foot down. They call the police. I tell the police I'm suicidal. I go to the hospital detox, the psychiatric ward, and then this time my parents get a restraining order. You're not coming back home this time. So I had no choice. I'm like, fuck, well, I can't manipulate them into letting me home this time. What's my next step? Okay, from the psych ward, they're telling me I could go to rehab. So I find this rehab, and long story short, it's a great fucking rehab. Same people that I hang out with today, and it's more, you're not just a number. It's a real fucking brotherhood. Anyone I talk about on this channel, I met there. Turned my fucking life around, you know. It's been 2 years and 9 months and some change. And here the fuck I am. Did I beat drug addiction? No, I'm fighting that shit every day. Am I going to win every day? It looks like it. That's only if I keep doing what I'm doing. That's only if I continue to surround myself by people that are going to give me suggestions, and then I follow those suggestions instead of thinking that I have all the answers. So I don't know, man. I'm just rambling at this point. Life is good. Gotta fucking take some time off from the gym as far as any push movements or any pull movements for the back. You know, but I'm here, and life is good. And if you're struggling with addiction, dude, it's gonna take everything in you to fucking fight that shit, and you're not gonna be able to do it alone. So hopefully this reaches someone, just the channel in general, just the message in general. I'm not gonna fucking stop. This shit's gonna keep going. And as I hone my message, as I hone my craft of just speaking to you guys, hopefully that message will get to more people that can relate, and we'll see where it goes from there.